This is Supernautus, welcome back to another Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars stream. I'm hoping that we can enjoy some more of the game, some more of the parts we remember of the game, as well as whatever new parts were added for the Director's Cut. So this is Shadow of the Templars, the Director's Cut. We're going to restore our game back from where we last left off, which was where we met George Stobart in Paris. With an explosion, a clown, blowing up a cafe. So we've spoken to the police, we've been with the police for a little while, and we understand kind of where things have gone with the police. They are going to investigate the bombing. We're going to walk down the road, we're going to look at the people who are around to see exactly what's happening with them. So here we have a man working on the road. This man is working on the road and seems happy enough. So let's go and speak to him.
Hey, you!
I thought you'd been arrested.
No, it was a
You thought I'd
misunderstanding.
been arrested?
When he pulled that gun, gah, I thought that was it. Those automatics packed quite a punch, you know?
He made a mistake. He thought I was a terrorist.
You? A terrorist? Ha!
He was only doing his duty, I guess.
So let's ask him about this man.
Did you see an old guy with a briefcase?
Wait, silly old coot. Do you
The dead
know what
person.
He said to me? Work fascinates me, he says. I could watch it all day. Care beat. I could have knocked his block off.
Yes, he could have knocked his block off for what he said to him. It's a little extreme. So much for all the French being friendly. So let's do this. Let's ask him some more questions about the various things that are available.
Did you recognize the old man?
No.
Did he know who the old man was?
Was he a celebrity?
No,
No, it
but
would
I guess
appear he
is
did
now.
not.
His name was Plantar.
Was? He's dead then?
Yeah.
That's too bad.
No, he was blown up.
Now I wish
survived.
I hadn't called him what I did. If only I could turn back the clock. If only I'd been more tolerant.
If only he'd been more tolerant. Now suddenly he's very remorseful about the whole situation, and unhappy about the way he treated the man. Do we believe him? I don't know if we do, but you know, let's give him the benefit of the doubt and let us give we saw the clown.
Did you see a clown come by this way?
A clown? Like in a circus?
Yeah, with
Yes,
makeup and
like in a circus,
nose.
Huh!
but with
Those
bombs.
guys are funny, aren't they?
With
Not in
bombs,
my
of all
experience.
things.
I love the circus, especially the horses.
You haven't answered my question. Have you
He
seen
likes
a
horses.
clown?
You think I've got time to watch
It's gotta be a
everyone
good start.
who passes by? Some of us have to work for a living.
Some of us have to work for a living. Yeah, working at a hole that doesn't seem to be getting any bigger, my friend.
Look, I know you're busy, but surely you'd have noticed
Surely.
a clown.
I told you already. I didn't see a thing.
You didn't see a
He was
thing.
wearing multicolored baggy trousers and makeup.
He'd be a poor sort of clown if he didn't.
No, apparently he was completely oblivious to his existence.
Listen, I have to find that clown. He's a killer.
Say, who are you anyhow? A cop?
No,
Is he a
of
cop?
course not. I mean, do I
No.
look like a cop?
No.
You know, is he a
But you
French
act
policeman?
Like one, sticking your nose in where
With an
it's not
American
wanted.
accent.
How do you know this guy's a killer? Did you see him in action?
Didn't you hear the explosion? The cafe was blown up.
I wondered what that bang was.
He wondered what the bang was.
Any
The bang.
Bodies?
You mean, he wondered what the
Yeah,
massive
an old
explosion
man was
was?
Damned. I didn't think it was that serious.
Oh,
What
yeah.
about the
There's a
waitress?
surprise. What about the
Oh, she's
waitress?
fine.
What about the
Thank the
waitress?
saints.
Oh, thanks the saints. So anyway, I want to have a look and see what he's got around him.
I gotta go.
Let's have a quick
Don't
look
let me
and see.
keep you.
Oh, don't let me keep you. I won't. So what's here?
Hey, stop
Hey,
that.
stop that.
Get away from there.
Get away from where?
What do you think you're doing?
I was
I'm just looking to
admiring
steal your tools.
toolbox.
Are we? Had a good look, have you?
Ah,
I'm
oui.
warning you. If you touch it, I'll crack
Touch
your
it,
nut.
I'll crack your
Okay,
nut.
I get your point.
Okay, I understand. You'll break my head open if I touch it. You're not a
Hi,
very friendly
can you
man, are
spare
you?
a few minutes?
What do you want now?
Take a look at this.
Take a look at this.
You told me you weren't a cop.
Told me you weren't a cop.
Don't shout about
Don't
it.
share about it. I'm working
undercover.
undercover.
Who are you looking for?
That's confidential.
Who am I working for? I'm working for somebody else.
What's in the toolbox?
None of your business.
What's in the toolbox? As if you
Uh,
didn't know.
Well,
What's the
I
big deal
could
about tools,
have a guess.
anyhow?
What's in the
They're
toolbox?
Tools are civilization.
Cheese, right? It's full of
You don't
cheese.
say.
You're French.
That's right.
You take your
Tools
cheese
are
to
what
work with you.
distinguish us from other
Surely.
animals.
Who are you calling an animal? I've met your sort before.
Maybe a bottle of
Looking
wine?
down your nose at me because I'm working.
We're not looking down our nose at
I've
anybody.
a good mind to knock your block off.
He has a good mind to knock my block off. That's concerning. But
What kind of tools do you keep in your box?
yeah, what kind of tools?
You really are
kind of tools?
interested in tools?
Sure, like I said,
Uh,
tools are...
Tools are.
Civilization. So you keep saying.
So, are you going to show them to me?
Oh, right.
Why
Is he going to show you his
you-
tool? Let's hope
Oh,
not.
come on.
This is
Just
a
a
family
little
show after all.
I've got work to do. Find someone else to bother.
I wonder if he'd like to know about the local news, catch up on the news.
Would you like to read my newspaper?
I haven't got time to read that. Can't you see I'm busy?
You could read it on your lunch break.
10 minutes is all I get.
He gets
If
10
my
minutes
boss
for
had
lunch.
his
10
way,
minutes.
I wouldn't get that.
That's
He'd
crazy.
have me on a
I
drink,
couldn't do 10 minutes
so
for
I
lunch.
didn't have to stop to eat.
Oh, take the newspaper and quit complaining.
Take the newspaper. Come on. Have it, you naughty
Look at
son of
this.
a...
Damn bleeding heart
The
liberals.
Bleeding Heart Liberals are at it again, guys.
Save the dolphins.
Save the
Catch them and
dolphins.
eat
Catch them and
I
eat them.
say. All that fuss
I don't know
over
if
a
dolphin
bunch of
tastes
fish.
particularly great.
Ah, that's
I know
more
you've got to
like
watch
it. Look
out
at
for
the
it when you're
size of
eating
those.
tuna.
Like champagne bottle corks, no? Ah, what's this? Saladin running in the
Ah,
Rue de l'Arc de
Salah
Triomphe.
Edin.
It's a racehorse?
A horse?
So we learn
A
about the
legend.
racehorse
Bucephalus reborn, mon ami. Like a streak
that was
of
written on the
lightning she
newspaper.
is.
Apparently she's a very fast horse. As he says,
Do me
like a streak of
favor,
lightning.
would you?
We have to keep an eye on his
my
hole,
horse.
guys.
I'm off
Keep
to
an eye on
put
my
some money
hole,
on that
he
night.
says.
What about your toolbox?
I'd rather not.
Stop it.
I'd rather avoid keeping an eye on your hole if I could help it. But maybe a distraction's what we need. Go on. Off you go. Goodbye. Right, he's gone. So now we can look in his toolbox that he wouldn't show us. There's a severed hand in it.
I found a T-shaped tool.
T-shaped tool in the
I
box.
didn't know what it was.
I don't know what it is, but it looks useful. Well, yeah, I mean, it's in a toolbox, so by its very definition, a tool would be useful, I would expect. Surely? So, what have we got? We've got this item here.
It was a metal rod with
Metal rod
handle
with a
at one
handle at
end
one end and a
a
short cross piece at the other. Almost like one of those tools you put in something and turn and then lift. I guess that might be what it is. Let's take a walk. Let's see if we can find anything else interesting. So, go back to the street here. Is there anywhere else we can go that would be interesting? We've got that telltale blue circle telling us to go here. Ah!
The clown
An alleyway full of wine bottles.
There was no sign of it now. I was intrigued by Nico and what she could tell me about the explosion.
He was intrigued to find out what Nico could tell him about the explosion. Well, she can't tell you much. I mean, you were there. How's she going to tell you more than you already know? Let's take a look at this. We've got a manhole cover. Come on, George. George isn't strong enough to lift
The
it.
cover was too heavy and awkward to lift with my bare hands.
It's too awkward for him to lift. Personally, I think George might be a little awkward. But we'll leave that there. This looks like the kind of thing people would use to lift that. See them do that, don't you? They put that in and then they use the leverage to get it open, and that's what it's for.
I lifted the cover to reveal what smelled like.
He lifted the cover, and he revealed what smelled like the entrance to a sewer. Surely, by its very definition, it was obviously a sewer. Black cats just crossed your path, George. That's surely not good. Is there anything more to look at here before we go down there? And why would he go in a sewer? The last time he killed somebody, he climbed a ladder. There's nothing of interest there.
It was a plastic crate.
It's a plastic crate. Well, let's see. I reckon if he escaped, he's escaped down there. Oh, we've got another dustbin. No cats in there.
Like someone had dumped a
Truckload of fish.
in a locker room.
That's
on
what it
a hot
smells like.
summer afternoon.
That's lovely. That's a great mental image you've painted there. This window is flashing. And has pretty clear bars on it. You can't have escaped that way. And the drain pipe.
I took a deep breath and prepared to climb the drain.
He broke.
I guess the clown.
So no one climbed that unless he was very, very light, like a child. So I guess the only possible escape route he could have used was the sewer. Let's go down and have a look and hope the clown isn't still there. Oh, here we go. This would be like the most awkward drop into a sewer, especially when it's got a ladder possible. Okay, so we've got a little red thing over there. Not much else to look at, and that's takes us deeper into the sewers. So quick look. We'll pick it up and see what it is.
As I picked up
a plastic ball, I realised it was intended to be worn.
It was
the clown's red nose. Okay, so we can be pretty sure now then, guys, that the clown went this way. So let's go further in, let's go down into the sewer. I have played this game in the past, quite a long time ago, so I do know my kind of way about these bits and pieces. Here we have something lying on the ground. I believe, if I remember rightly, it's like a handkerchief with wax paint on it. And there's a piece of his clothes over there.
I scooped up the sodden tissue.
Cold and greasy tissue.
Cold and
Like
greasy.
breakfast leftovers. I suppose that entirely depends what you eat for breakfast. See, so we've got a tissue.
It was the soggy tissue I found.
Soggy tissue. You don't often want to find a soggy tissue in the sewers. You know, playing around with soggy tissues in the sewers is probably not a smart idea. But, you know, c'est la vie, as they might say in France. Ah. Yeah, so there's a caught piece of his clothes. I can't remember what colour his trousers were, but I'm assuming it's his trousers. So what do we have? We have some fabric.
It was the scrap of material I'd found in the sewer.
A scrap of material. So yeah, a scrap of material. And now we will, I guess, seeing as we're trying to follow where the clown went, because he blew up a restaurant near us while we were on holiday. Do you really do that? Anyway, let's climb the ladder. Oh,
Hi there.
there's an angry man.
You sewer rat.
Sewer rat.
I knew you'd come back. And now
He knew I would come back.
What are you talking about?
you're trespassing. Come on.
Trespassing, yeah?
That's what I'm trying to do. Give me your hand.
Yes, I am trying to climb out of the hole. If you would help me.
Ha,
You don't want to get your hands dirty.
like that.
Does look like a fairly fancy
Keep your
hotel
distance.
concierge or something,
Okay.
maybe?
Now, what were you
Maybe. Okay, so he's seen somebody fairly recently. We need to find out who it was, I guess. But let me just check something else here as well while we're here. Let's ask him about random people.
Terrorists. The meanest, nastiest, dirtiest.
I'm searching for
bunch of guys I ever
terrorists.
saw.
Englishmen without a doubt. The filthy dogs. The day they
Englishman.
opened that tunnel was a bad day for
Englishman.
crime.
I'm not going to enter
Tell
into
you,
that discussion
if
today, guys.
I still had the full use of my faculties, I'd march right over there and tell them so.
Well, whoever they are, they blew up the
They blew up the cafe.
What? The cafe? Blown up? Mon
That is
awful.
The guy who did it was a calculating, cold-blooded
It's
killer.
awful.
He was disguised as a
And
clown.
he was dressed up
I
as a
followed
clown.
him into the sewer, and I think he came this way.
Ah, mon Dieu. Then, the man I chased. Do you
The man that he chased. Do you think that that man and the clown are the same person? Well, I don't expect that many people walk through the sewers during the day. I could be wrong. This doesn't explain what I was doing down the sewer. Well, it does. When you really think about it.
Oh no, I'm just a tourist.
I'm just a tourist. Touring the sewers of Paris. Ah, bon. His waste pipes are an attraction. Well, I don't want to see your waste pipes personally. And keep that in the privacy of your own bedroom, thanks.
Tell me about the man you apprehended.
What is there to tell? He was a typical...
Yeah, I've already told you I'm not a criminal. Come on now.
Like you.
Do you know the waitress at the cafe?
Does he know the waitress?
She isn't hurt, is she?
It would appear
No,
that
she's fine.
everybody knows the waitress of this cafe, bar, whatever it is.
Can't you
I'm not concerned about that, to
I'm not
be
a
honest.
gangster. I'm an American
Old men.
tourist.
Concerned about the waitress at the restaurant, the cafe. Okay, so now we're going to ask about the man who died,
Does the name Plantard
Mr. Plantard.
No, he doesn't. Who is he?
Means
The
nothing to
man
him.
who was killed in the cafe. I'm gonna find the guy responsible. I'll find him. Even if it means following him down every
Let's hope we don't have to
sewer in
go down
every
too many more
city in
sewers,
Europe.
because
Bravo!
following people down sewers is going to be a little bit worrying, to be honest. We shouldn't have to do that. He's not going to get far in his sneakers. They don't look like sneakers to me. They look like brown shoes.
Was the guy you saw carrying a briefcase?
Did he have a briefcase? He didn't notice. He was chasing him. He almost caught him, but he doesn't notice if he had a briefcase with him. Seems a little odd, doesn't it?
Take a look at this false
Take a look at
note.
this false nose.
I've never seen it before in my life.
Are you sure? Take a look at this handkerchief.
What does this tissue mean to you?
Nothing, monsieur. It's
It means somebody
disgusting.
wiped something, and by the way, you got it in the sewer.
To show it to me. Someone had emptied their nostrils into it.
Has someone emptied their nostrils into it? They looked a bit red. Let's hope that they haven't.
Do you recognize this material?
Does he recognise the material?
I am not telling you
I'm not
anything.
telling you anything, because he thinks I'm a criminal still. If I show him this, he might answer my
Perhaps you'd like
questions.
to take a look at my card?
What's
What
this?
is this?
Inspector Augustin Rosso?
What does that say?
Hominoid division. It's a hominid division, yes.
Homicide.
We're dealing with hominid species here.
Then you are not.
Then I'm not a tourist. I've been
Okay,
lying to
I
him.
lied to you, and I'm sorry.
Don't
No,
apologize.
the lying begins now.
I had a feeling there was something.
Not later. The lying is now.
It is your posture, your poise.
My posture, my poise.
There is no mistaking.
I'm obviously a disciplined man. I wasn't a minute ago. A minute ago I was a sewer rat.
I was in the army. You know.
He was in the army,
When I was your age, I was
fighting in
for
the African
land.
desert. Yes, Algeria and French's...
How can I help you,
French's?
Inspector?
France's past is being called into question there, isn't it? Now, do you know anything about this
Does
fabric?
This piece of material mean anything to you?
That is the
Same cloth as the jacket.
The jacket I found.
So it was off his
I
jacket, guys.
recognize that pattern anywhere.
He'd recognise the pattern anywhere. So again, let's ask about the clown. We'll get some different answers. We should really have shown him the card first.
Tell me about the man you apprehended.
He was a mean one, monsieur.
He was mean, grabbed him in an arm lock, and his face was right next to him.
His grip was
Gripped like iron, didn't know what he was up against.
know what he was up against. Oh no. He made a big mistake.
He was part of the desert hyenas, guys.
Yes.
Desert hyenas.
I get the picture.
Okay, so maybe he'll tell me some more about why everyone seems to know the waitress and worry about her so much.
Do you know the waitress at the cafe?
You can't suspect her.
Well, anyone's a suspect, surely.
Just answer the question, please.
Yes,
Exactly.
quite well.
He knows her quite well, you could say.
She came to work at the cafe 6, 7
It's
months.
a dirty old man.
I look forward all week to the relief
He looks forward to the relief she gives him when she visits.
So you'd miss her if she
Oh,
wasn't
no.
there.
Mais oui. Where else would I find to cut my toenails? Cut his toenails, my goodness. That poor girl.
Does the name Plantar mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't.
Well, he already said that the name didn't mean much to him, so it's not really totally surprising that he would say the same again.
Was the guy you saw carrying a briefcase?
Why, yes, it was. Clutched in his arms like a baby.
That belonged to his victim.
Oh,
A briefcase that belonged to his victim?
Drugs, stolen
Well, I don't know. If I knew what was in it,
No.
that would help us understand maybe why he was being attacked.
Nothing is worth that, monsieur.
As it stands, I don't know. And what about this jacket that you found? Tell me some more about it.
Now, about the jacket you found. Do you have it here?
No, monsieur. One of the sleeves was badly torn.
Why?
So I
Why would he send it for
there.
repair? Did he like the look of it and wants it for himself? A fine piece of quality tailoring. He's not just buying like random clown costumes. He's actually paying money for a decent quality piece of costume.
Where did you send the jacket?
I gave it to an itinerant.
He gave it to an
Romani
itinerant Romany
Just my
seamstress.
luck.
This is an interesting concept.
Was there anything in the jacket pocket?
Did I have anything in it?
Not
Not a
You know what I think?
suit.
Do tell me.
He changed out of the clown suit.
He changed out of the costume and disguised himself as an ordinary person. That would seem to be the case. Based on all the evidence that we have in front of us, the fact that he doesn't have his jacket anymore, or his nose, and there's a handkerchief with grease paint all
What was
over
the
it.
name on the label?
He probably isn't dressed as a clown.
Foreign name. Todrick.
Todrick.
I think.
Did you get the address?
There was
Address?
one,
No
monsieur.
address. Only a phone number.
Well, I don't expect you to remember a phone number you've only seen once.
74 98.
74 98 08 59.
Kidding. That's his phone number?
He knows the number off by heart.
That is
There you go.
a little tricky
He knows
number.
numbers very easily. They come to him
I was taught
because of a
that
trick he learned in the
by a
desert.
Tuareg shaman.
That's
Taught to him by a
incredible.
Tuareg shaman.
It comes in handy at the supermarket
Huh.
checkout.
I don't-
Do I
It
get
comes in
a
handy at the
reward?
supermarket checkout. Do I get a reward? Honesty is its own reward.
And I'm glad I do not rely on honesty to pay the
That's a
bills.
good point. Honesty does not pay the bills.
This is what I used to open the manhole cover.
I have one just the same as that, monsieur. I will fetch it if you like.
I don't think I need.
No,
I don't think we
don't
need to
bother.
compare tools.
Oh, it is no bother, monsieur.
Nah, forget it.
I'd just be envious after all. Well, there's not really much else for us to do here, apart from what, go back down into the sewer,
Thanks to your help, the citizens of
or can we
Paris
just
will sleep
leave?
a
Can we
little
just go out?
easier tonight.
Vraiment? I was only doing my
Only
duty,
doing his
monsieur.
duty.
Good luck, Inspector. I
Catch
hope
the
you
killer
catch that
soon.
killer soon.
Please do. So now we're going to go out, out through here,
So the
and
clown
we're
slipped
back
into the sewer,
to the workman's
into the
pit.
courtyard, and then slipped back into the street here. It wasn't much, but it was more than the cops had got.
Yeah, the police didn't get as much as us, that is true. So our notes say, the police don't think I had anything to do with the explosion, which is a relief, but who was responsible? Met a very cute photojournalist called Nico Collard. She works for La Liberté, some kind of newspaper. She knew something about who had planted the bomb, but wasn't giving anything away. The end here, most important thing. The guy gave the jacket away straight away, got the phone number of the tailor who made it, so I think I might have a lead. Good. We have a new flashing symbol here. As I say, given I've played this part of the game before at least, I know that this is a telephone. And I guess we should discuss things in depth with Nico. If we can get her on the phone.
Hello, Nico Collard.
Hello.
It's George.
Ah, oui.
You said to call if I could help.
Have
I
you
might be
got
able to
news
help.
for me?
You
I might have some news for you.
Who spoke to the clown, and I know where the killer.
He knows where the killer
No kidding.
gets his
Hey,
suits.
I'm impressed.
You are? Well,
Which is impressive, given he has been doing this for about 5 minutes.
Why don't you come into my apartment later this afternoon?
fine.
Come
Where
here
do
to
you
my
live?
apartment.
361 Rue Jarry.
And that's
Okay,
361
I'll come over.
Rue Jarry.
I was used to working alone. But I had
That's all we
trouble.
really need to know. So
Felt
now we are
good
with
control
Nico,
of the case too. But there were some things
and she's
I was
happy to
going
be
have
working
to
with
do
somebody.
alone. And fast. I needed the answers to some questions.
Needed
was the
answers.
costume
Who was
killer?
the costume killer?
And why did he
And
murder
why did he murder
Carchon?
Carchon?
Why did Carchon ask for me to interview
Why
him?
did he want her to interview him? How did he know her
my
father? And why was her editor
And
scared?
why was my editor so scared? There was some kind of secret war going on out
A
there.
secret war?
Who was on which side?
The secret
One
war,
thing I did
guys.
know. I wasn't
Between
going to get the answers sitting at my desk.
Right-minded people and lunatics. Obviously. Obviously lunatics. So there we go. So we're back with Nico now. And this is obviously her journal of things going on. Does she have anything interesting to say that we didn't already know about? Link to the costume killer murders. Plantard phoned saying he had the information about the costume killer. How did he know I was writing the story, let alone that I had been spiked? Sorry, it had been spiked. She's not been spiked, at least not yet. She is conscious. Cafe blown up. George found some clues, invited him to this afternoon to my house. Strand invites random strangers to her house moments after meeting them. Mere moments after meeting them. So we're in Nico's apartment. There are some things we can look at. Although I don't think we need to spend a lot of time in here. We have a picture.
It was a photograph of my father. The first one
It's her
I
dad.
ever took, with
Who
the
made that
first
wooden
camera
elephant.
he ever bought me.
And a lot of other things too, while he was on that subject. There's some mood music on. Set the mood in the room.
No, I'm not giving up.
You have no messages. Except obviously I don't think it speaks like that. You have no messages.
I'm not giving up. No, I'm not giving up.
So yeah. Okay, I didn't actually want to sit at the table. Can we get off the table? We don't need to sit at the table and do nothing.
Feel like if
No need for that.
we'll make it through.
No time for sitting at the table, Dr. Jones.
I know sometimes you feel like letting go.
So here comes Nico to look at her chest. No, don't be so dirty-minded. We've got a box with an elephant on it. The box is an
box was
elephant
carved by my
and
father.
requires a key.
It never had a key. The elephant on the lid was a perfect match to
Perfect
Carchon's.
match for Carchon's, except for the fact that it's on the lid of a box, and Carchon's wasn't. I doubt this works on this box. No, it doesn't work on that box because that was the one for from Carchon's. So let's go back. Let's go out of Nico's apartment, as that's what we have to do. Visit the crazy people in the street. Beginning with this woman doing her knitting and selling some flowers.
Mademoiselle Collard.
Oh, hello there.
Knows her quite well.
Don't tell me. I'm going to meet a tall, dark man.
No, I don't think so. Why would you say that?
Oh, just a wild guess.
Just a
Anyway, your
wild
cousin
guess.
Female and very pretty.
My cousin's female
What?
and pretty.
Your cousin
What?
from Marseille. How could you forget her so soon? She was only in your apartment yesterday.
She was in her
Ah,
apartment.
Really?
Aha.
Such a charming young girl.
Isn't she?
She's being
And in my apartment. you
spied
say?
on.
She let
Followed
herself in,
around.
Of course. She's got a key.
Suddenly, everything made sense.
She let herself in with a key and everything's been bugged in her apartment.
That was how Plantard knew all about
Plantard
the
knew about the article
How
because
did I
of
know?
that.
Because the only cousin I have is a sweet little guy called Jean-Marc, who runs a patisserie in Le Touquet. These people were determined, which meant they were also very dangerous.
See, she knows she doesn't have the cousin that you were talking about. Somehow we have a picture of what she looks like before we even know.
I suppose she'd forgotten which apartment was mine.
Oh, Miss Collard, you're a my leader. That's just.
I've forgotten which apartment she
Oh,
lives
I
in.
bet
Can
you
you
did.
tell me, please?
Well, I'd better be going. See what my sweet cousin's been getting up to.
Au revoir, mademoiselle.
She better see what her cousin's been up to. She needs to know who her supposed cousin is first. So we we need to look around a little bit and go to the map. The world map. We want to go to... There's no point going to Carshon's residence because that's done and kind of dusted. So we'll go to the Café de la Chandelle Vert. Sorry about my pronunciations, but we're going back here. Back to the cafe. Back to the scene of the crime. They've cleaned up already, so very quickly. I can't believe they have. That's quite surprising. The workman's hole hasn't got any bigger or smaller.
That depends. Are you a cop?
No, I'm a journalist.
She's a journalist. Come on now.
I'm doing a follow-up on this story.
She's following up. Following up with questions about
Tell me, are you related to the workman I saw
the
digging
workman.
the oil?
Don't talk to me about Flobage.
Flobage.
Okay.
He just won a fortune on the horses and he
Won a fortune on the horses with Saladin.
Money.
When he was broke, he was happy to touch me for a loan. Brothers should look after each other. He used to
Brothers
say.
should look after each other.
Changed his tune
However,
now he's
you know,
brassed up.
sometimes these things don't always work out for the best.
You're doing a fine job.
Damn right I am. You should be writing about me.
But he's more interested in being greedy, isn't he?
That got blown up.
The heroes will pick
I
up
should be writing about him.
when disaster strikes.
Some random guy boarding up
Well,
windows
give me your best man
instead
and
of a
maybe
guy
I'll
who's
put your
been
picture in
murdered
the
in an
article.
explosion
Oh,
in a
right.
cafe.
Just give me a minute to do my hair.
Let me just do my hair. You've got very little hair to do. Yeah, he still has that tuft sticking up. Doesn't look like it's getting any better.
Hello?
Will you talk to me about anything else?
Yes.
How about you tell me about
Have the police finished with the crime scene?
police?
What does it look like?
Inspector
I've got orders to
Clouseau
board up the windows, and that's what
and
I'm
his
doing.
silliness.
So the body's been removed?
I certainly hope so.
Does it not have a body?
It'll stink to high heaven when
We
they
saw the
dig
body
down these
before.
boards.
Shouldn't you check?
Are you kidding? They don't pay me enough to put up boards, let alone
They don't pay him
check
enough to
dead
put up
bodies.
boards, but he's still doing it. He's still doing it quite happily. He just doesn't think they pay him enough to do so. So there's not much we need to ask about. We can ask him about
I need to take some more pictures.
Of course.
taking pictures,
Sure. Just give me a moment.
but all he's going to do is tidy his hair. So I don't think he's got
Hello?
much else he can tell us. But we're going to go through our
Yes.
inventory of items and just see if there's anything he knows anything about. Like this.
You see this ticket?
Are you trying to bribe
Am I
me?
trying to bribe you? Bribe you?
Blame you, of course. Good-looking fella like me.
He thinks quite highly of himself, doesn't he?
Take a look at
Would you like to blow your
I
nose
don't
on this
like messy
handkerchief?
hankies. They scratch my
No.
nose.
Apparently not.
I can see how that
Doesn't
must
like
have fun.
stylish handkerchiefs.
Do you know this man?
He looks
Do you
like a
know
nasty
this
piece
man?
of work.
Oh, that's lovely.
I had an uncle who was with the fascists, but we never talk about him.
An uncle with the
How
fascists.
should I know? We never talk about him.
They never talk about him, so he doesn't know anything about his uncle because they never talk about him.
Would you recognize this?
Would he recognise some random
To
key?
a safe.
Apparently he does.
Especially if I'm not
So he knows more about safes than he does about anything of interest. What about this
wouldn't
key?
be
Do you know where this key leads to, no? Or
Do you
the
like
elephant?
this
Do you like the elephant?
It's
Do you like
the kind of
elephants?
thing you pick up for a couple of euros at Les Puces de Saint-Ouen.
Yeah. Except it was handmade. What about this
Look at the
messy piece of
secret
paper?
message.
Very nice. But it's not secret now, is it?
Yeah, exactly. It's not a
just
secret
image.
now. Thank you. It is just a piece of paper with a message on it.
He wouldn't be interested in a substitution cipher.
Not interested in a substitution cipher? Well, he might do crosswords.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Has he
do you
ever
think
seen
I am?
anything like this? What do you think I am? A plumber. Does that look like something a plumber would use? I don't think it does.
What do you think
And
of
what
my
about
shell
that?
case?
Are you in the scrap business?
Are you in the scrap business?
Of
Yes.
course not.
Picking up scraps of
I've got
people's
some rubbish just like that I need to get rid of.
lives.
I need to take some more pictures.
Of course. My
He
pleasure.
thinks we want to
Just
take
give me a
pictures of
moment.
him. So let's see, we can go inside the cafe.
The police have removed the body, but nothing else looked disturbed.
Obviously they were going to remove the body. You know, nothing else has been disturbed apparently. The only blue circle I can see, and I wish we weren't following a game with blue circles, is the one with the mirror. So we have the mirror, we have pieces of mirror that are kind of falling apart.
A panel had been blown away.
And there was a
revealing
gap.
A gap. From this
Panel
angle,
blown
I
away.
could see that something
And
had
something's
been
in the gap
lodged in
behind the
gap
pipes.
behind the pipes.
Probably papers. I would guess they're papers. Probably what he wanted to give us. So we want to move this table now and get behind this table.
Behind the table were some damaged pipes.
He's did a pretty good job getting that jammed in between there, considering that all he knew was going to happen was that a bomb was going to blow up, and he knew it at the very last second. But never mind, obviously we want this.
Voila! The police and forensic teams
pouch.
had missed a vital piece of evidence.
He keeps things in his pouch, just like a
Somewhere in the
kangaroo.
pouch. On the pouch was the cross symbol of Carchon's organization.
She's on the right track because it has the same symbol as the other things we've had before. We can look at that now.
On the pouch was the cross symbol of Carchon's organization. Inside the pouch were two items.
And two items, a metallic artifact and a letter. In another
some
code,
kind
we've
of
got another
code.
cipher of some kind. I wonder if it works the same way as the other one did. Let's take a look.
Another coded message using the same
Using the same
system.
cipher.
So, Plantard was involved.
So there we go.
with
So we know
Carchon.
now that Plantard was involved with Carchon. This is another substitution cipher. The only thing is I can't remember what the cipher was last time. Yeah, we know how it works because we did it before. But right now we want to go back. I want to take a look at the other item we found first.
The artifact had a sword.
Sword laid across
There was
scales.
a picture of Lady Justice on the locked
Lady
panel
Justice with
in
her
the room
scales.
below the conciergerie.
So, can I first
I
look
had
at this
decrypted
one
the
and
note.
see if it's the same?
It read, Pierre, this is not a I wasn't the only. I'd been right all along.
No, I can't look at it. Can I use it with that to try and
no.
decipher it?
Another coded message using the...
So I can't remember what all the symbols were that I deciphered before. That makes things a little difficult again. So you'll have to bear with me while I think this through. If I remember rightly, those were E's, the like upside down, the like N shape with a little foot sticking out of it. No, not N. Oh, that's just silly. E. That was E, not N. I made a schoolboy error there by clicking things in the wrong order. These are familiar. See, it makes it difficult because these take a little while to get used to. But wait, okay. So Plantard had this message. He received this message, or he was picking up this message. So is it addressed to him, maybe? In which case, that surely would be his first initial. And that would then be his name. No, not K. Yeah. I think that one with the dinosaur shape with its head facing backwards, I seem to remember that was, in fact, that was A. So I think we might be on the right track with it being his name. It's got the right number of letters. N was the like W with bits missing from it. Yeah, see, now I'm starting to remember, having gone back and kind of looked at the stream, obviously, to make sure everything was going okay the last time we did it. It all seems to be going about as I'd expect. So this is, by now we can expect this should be Plantard, in which case that thing that's like a number 2 with an extra bit sticking out of it is obviously T. The curly thing is always obviously an R. Oh, and this is obviously Pierre again. So that's a D. The U with an arm sticking out of it is D. So Plantard. This is Pierre, so we know that I is the kind of capital N with a squiggly shape. Pierre milled. No. Killed. Could be killed. What have we got here? Plantard, Pierre, Ild, Urderer. It's got to be murderer, hasn't it? In which case that is you. And that is M. Pierre killed murderer. Must. I mean, I guess that must be must, right? Must something. A-E. Arn. And, oh, this is Yamada again. And I think it was Arno, wasn't it? Arno was the other guy's name. Must something Olo Ed Trails. This must be must have followed trail, I think. In which case that's a capital N with like a curly arm sticking out of it. V would be the curly capital N with a line in the right hand side of it. So we'll take V. Must have, and this is followed. That I can be pretty certain of. Must have followed trail from Arno and Yamada. He will come for us now. Come for us now. We must be vigilant. So the B is this. The G is the kind of U at a 45-degree angle. Thierry's girl, something into Pierre's safe. It's obviously broke. It's the only word that really fits in the context.
Plantard.
So there we are.
Pierre killed. Murderer must have followed trail from Arno and
I'll let
Yamada.
Nico
He will come
describe
for
the
us now.
story.
We must be vigilant. Thierry's girl broke into Pierre's safe. She worries me. Imelda. So much for Imelda's
So there we are.
Plantard was working for her.
So Imelda,
And for Carchon. But why did Plantard
Carchon's
want to?
wife,
Was
Imelda,
it a trap? Or
is also involved in
maybe
this.
he was in too deep and needed me to tell
Maybe
the story.
Carchon didn't like it,
Whatever
as
the
you
story
said.
was. One
But it was a
thing
story worth killing for.
a story.
There are many stories that people kill for, but this particular one, well, maybe it is worth killing for. We'll decide that soon enough. So that, I think, is probably the only thing the police didn't find in here. There's nothing else kind of standing out that we have to pick up or go to at all. Right, so out we go. The workman's obviously there. What about my photos?
Of course.
Oh, how could I forget?
Well, I'm waiting.
Get your camera out.
Camera.
Oh,
Oh, I forgot. It broke.
silly me, I don't have a camera.
They should
Never send a woman to do a man's job.
Well, this woman
I'm not going to enter into the argument about that.
and found the evidence the
I don't
police had
really
missed.
feel the need to do it. So let's walk down here towards the tent. Still no workman. He's obviously spending an awful lot of time with that newspaper. Oh yeah, but he won a
The
fortune,
strange
didn't he?
artifact
With
was
Salah
in
ad-Din.
Plantard's pouch. I pointed back to the quayside.
At the Ile de la Cité. And we're back here. We're back at the place where we found some details. Back at the place where we found, you know, the where we used our ciphers and things, where we deciphered that first letter. So we're going to continue on. There's not really anywhere you can go here apart from straight through. Oh, we need to mess around with this puzzle again so that we can get through that door. But I think the cross was working okay last time, wasn't it? So it was
If I was going to get a closer look at the panel,
Oh no, looks like we'll have to do the same again to keep the cross up. Put the bullet in the shell casing, should I say, in there. Back to the key side we are. Now we can drop this into here. And that opens the other door. So we'll go back into here, I guess, to see what we're capable of looking at now. So we're in. Ah, but now, see, remember there was a safe on the wall with a little
a slot
keyhole.
next to the safe door. All I had to do
And
was
this,
find something to
if I'm
fit
not
into it.
mistaken,
It was like being back in kindergarten. All
that
I
looks
needed
like
now was a shape that
Lady
could fit the
Justice, does
slot.
it not?
Lady Justice stared
Yeah.
out from the stone door, which was locked
With her
and
scales
reinforced with steel
and her
bars.
sword. So then,
A slot next to
yeah, this key, which has the same image on it,
the artifact had a sword laid across scales. There was a picture of Lady Justice on the locked panel
Yeah.
in the room below the
stands to reason that that goes in this keyhole. And it does.
Antard's key fitted the lock, so he must have used this.
So yeah, this is obviously a secret hiding place for the Templars. No, not in Assassin's Creed. This isn't Assassin's Creed, guys. Be serious.
A photograph had been torn
Turn up photo. Maybe it's the other half of the photo that I found earlier.
If I
Could
could
it be?
just arrange the pieces.
Oh, we're going to arrange the pieces in some sort of jigsaw form, guys. So now we're doing jigsaw puzzles. That's fine, but... Well, see, there's a corner. That's the top right-hand corner. And we've got a border across the top, so that it's not going to be extremely difficult to do this, as long as all the pieces are there. This will link to that. Does it lock together? Or do we have to... No. Okay, so the puzzle doesn't lock together. If you're right, you just have to hope you're right. There we are. I thought for a moment there that part of the photograph had a hand on it. Then I realised it was the hand symbol, of course, from us. Are there any more with like the top part of an image on them? Like that top border? Doesn't appear to be so. We've got the right hand side and we've got these what look like clouds, I guess. Did that not just drop on top of that? That's not what we want. I don't think that's right. Well, that's not right either, though. Oh, wait, this... Yeah, those two pieces go together, definitely. But I'm not sure... Well, that goes in there, obviously. Well, maybe not. There's another piece like that here, too. Yeah, those pieces go together. Ah, and this is the bottom corner. So then surely that piece does go there, followed by this piece, followed by that piece, and finally this piece. We're piecing together the jigsaw puzzle of the image. I mean, we found the ripped up image of her father. I can only assume that this is probably the other half of that image. I guess we have to construct it to find out. This part fits with the rest of that, so, and there's the other. Yeah, we don't have any more edges, which makes me think that this is probably kind of the end of the edges, I guess. Do we have something that goes up in that corner? That doesn't fit the space, but it fits that space. Which means this surely goes here.
Oh my god. It can't
We've got
be.
a face. Yeah, that piece slots in with the spaces there. This piece fits there. We have the other pocket. We have the top edge of his head, his collar, and lastly
There
this
was
piece.
No doubt about it. It was
No doubt
the
about
picture
it.
of my father.
There was a picture of her father.
Papa. Oh God. After what I'd gone through, I thought
Wait.
I could face anything, but not this.
It was a picture of her
My
father.
the one
torn
person
up.
in the whole world who I truly
It looked like it
admired.
might have been the other half of that
Standing
picture of her
with
father we
Carchot.
saw before.
Are those murderers
Ah,
carried
okay.
on with their
Standing with
empires?
Carchot.
My father, grinning.
And her
at the
father was
camera.
grinning at the camera.
I couldn't believe.
Because we don't know the reasons for that. There is a very good chance that
I realized that I desperately
he wasn't
needed to get to
necessarily
the
his
bottom of the
friend,
story, and that I really needed George.
but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So Nico makes her way home, trudging her way home sadly, because she's realised that the way her father lived may have been a lie. But does that mean you can't love him anymore? So now here we are. We are George, and we are coming to visit Nico after she went away and found out some very nasty things, a nasty surprise. Again, I'm pretty sure that all that sort of stuff was newly added into things.
Oh, hi.
There was a lot less kind of Nico play
Would you like
in
me
the
to
first
tell you?
in the game originally, as far as I remember.
Very good,
It was
you
mostly
don't
just
take it from me.
George.
Thanks all the same, but I'm not superstitious. Besides,
He's not superstitious,
don't
and look
get
out for the
rid of
garden gnome
that's
walking
not
past in the
much to
background.
look forward to.
So let's talk. We want to talk about sewers.
What do you make of this tool?
Is it something a dentist would
Is
use?
it something a dentist would
No,
use?
it's for
You'd need an
raising
awfully
animals.
big mouth
Formidable.
for a dentist to stick that in there. What about this? It's clearly a red nose. Will she work that out? She doesn't know anything about it. What about this?
What can you tell me about this tissue?
Nothing.
Nothing. She can tell me nothing. Not even it's disgusting, or what the heck's
What can you
that,
tell me
or,
about this
you know.
material?
It's a very expensive piece of cloth, monsieur.
It's an expensive piece of cloth. That could be quite a useful thing to know. Let's ask about
I've changed my mind.
Pam
You
reading
tell my-
fortune telling.
You're going on a long
I'm going on a long journey.
What a surprise.
He will eventually
Tell me
presumably go
anything I
back to
don't already know.
America, so yeah. He will be on a long journey, I suppose. Here we have Nico. More about
How does
fortune
this
telling.
fortune-telling routine work?
And how does it work?
I knew
Well,
that I wouldn't be selling flowers for
you give her some money and she
Haven't you ever
tells you
wondered why you were
how
blessed?
she thinks you're going to live your
Well,
life.
it's a bit like satellite television, I suppose. Some of us
A bit
are
like
born
satellite
with
television.
a dish. I just happen to be one of the lucky ones.
You tune into the right channel and you turn your dish to the right location. And you get messages from the other side.
Can you really
If only it was
foretell
as
the
simple
future?
as that, eh?
Only time will tell, monsieur. The strange thing is, I can't seem to see myself.
She can't see herself in the future. Maybe she's
Other
going to
people,
die.
I have no problem. But when I try to see what might happen to me, nothing.
That must be scary.
Maybe. I figure
She
if
can't
it's
see
a
what's gonna happen to her.
safety mechanism,
I don't know, is that
then
scary?
I don't have a future.
Would you really want to know? Or she doesn't have a future? Well, she is. And I don't want to be too mocking about this, but she is a lady sitting on a street selling flowers from a stall.
Are the flowers for sale?
Oui, monsieur.
And the flowers for
Okay.
sale, George.
I'll take a bunch
No,
of
they're
those
for
white
they're for show. She just sits around looking at flowers all day.
No?
They are lilies, monsieur. Some people associate them with
Association of lilies with death.
Thanks for telling me. What other flowers do you have?
dahlias,
What do they signify?
insecurity.
Dahlias signify
I don't wanna
insecurity.
give her the wrong idea about me. What about the tall yellow ones?
Those are iris.
So there you go.
Flame of passion.
Or
And
dahlias.
the little yellow ones?
Iris's
Well, they're no use
sensuality.
to me. I wanna make an
And it's
impression
no
when I
use
jump
to
down that
him,
road.
apparently. He's not a very sensual person.
Do you know a young woman called Nicole Collard?
Yes, I do. She lives upstairs from me in the apartment block across the street. The door isn't locked, but you'll need to give it a gentle.
The door isn't locked, but you need to give it a gentle nudge. Does she invite her up for coffee now and again, does she? The landlord said he'd fix it before the winter sets in. Saying that for 3 years, but does she live in the building?
How long has Mademoiselle
How long
Collard
has she lived here?
A few months. She's in for a shock when the cold weather comes. Drafty windows insufficient.
She's in for a shock when the winter comes, yeah.
The only reason I stay is because
Well, who knows where she'll be this
The
time
young lady she did
in the winter. She could be miles and miles away.
I thought Mademoiselle Collard was a successful photographer.
not as successful as she makes out for all her fine clothes.
She's not as successful as she
Oh,
pretends to
I've
be.
heard her crying herself to sleep at night.
You've heard her crying herself to sleep at night?
Now don't you let on
What
that I
are
told
you doing?
She's proud, that one.
What are you up to, you strange lady? Are you telling people's futures? Or are you just spying on them and then telling them the things you found out?
Have you seen anyone out here watching Mademoiselle Collard's apartment?
Yes, I have. A strange man.
A strange man, tall and thin as a broomstick.
Thin as a
That's quite thin.
He kept his face hidden, but I saw his eyes.
Evil little
Peering
slits for
from
eyes.
evil little slits.
How was he dressed?
A long brown raincoat.
How was he dressed? Well, I don't know
Like
what
Humphrey Bogart.
the process of
Yes,
dressing
but he
him
didn't have Bogart's
involved.
charisma.
I think he was dressed in
Besides, this guy looked
clothes.
like he needed a toilet. You never saw Bogart clenching his buttocks like that.
You never saw Bogart clenching his buttocks. Yeah, but most of Bogart's work was edited to fit the purpose of a film.
Is there anything else you can tell me about
Anything
Mademoiselle
else you
Collard?
can tell us?
No, monsieur.
No. What a useful piece of conversation.
See you later.
So Nico came out
No,
of...
monsieur, you may.
Well, let's hope not. Eh. Nico came out of here. So let's go to Nico's house.
Remembering the flower seller's advice, I pushed the door gently
Yeah.
just above
Give the
line.
door a little nudge. That's important. Nudging the door.
I'm glad you could make it, monsieur.
Please, call me George.
Please call me George.
Take a seat, George.
But he's not French. He can't speak like that. He's not a French man.
Eh bien? And what have you been up to?
I've been exploring
What
the
have I been up
sewers
to?
underneath the cafe.
I thought I could smell
Oh,
something
sorry, I
bad.
just bumped my
Clown
mic.
used the sewer
I
to
do
escape
apologise.
and change out of his costume. I guess he was in a hurry. He left his jacket behind.
And?
I got his tailor's phone number.
You had better luck than I did.
You got Taylor's number.
Luck, she said.
Did you get the number of that
Hard
donkey
work,
cart?
I'd call it.
Oh wait, that's the wrong game.
My editor told me to drop the story. Can
Her
you
editor
please-
told her to drop the story. Drop it.
Oh no. I'm going to find out what's behind
She's
it.
not going to...
Just doesn't
Should that
add up.
surprise us, guys? She's not going to drop
There's
it.
Some sort of conspiracy. The police in 3 different countries have kept very quiet about the murders. The press don't connect them at all. They blame them on political
Press aren't
religious,
connecting
or
them.
militant minority extremists.
Well, that covers just about everyone.
I have a realization that right now my stream looks like an audio test, I believe, and it has done for the past hour. I will retest all that shortly. Let's ask about. Well, do we have to? I guess we really want to go through everything with her. Let's talk about
What
her.
about yourself?
There's nothing much to tell.
Well, how'd you get into photography?
I guess I owe
How
that
did
to
you
my
get into
father.
photography?
He bought me my first camera. I was 8, and my parents had just split up.
Her dad got her into photography, and no noises from the peanut gallery there, thanks.
Did you live with your father?
Yes. My mother went off with her new
Well, you know.
boyfriend. I didn't mind.
Noises from there
That
can
was all I
be
needed.
funny at times,
4 years
but then
later, he
sometimes they're
died
not
in a plane
necessary.
crash.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. I don't mind talking about him. He was more like an older brother, really.
Did
His
she just
girlfriend
find out
died.
that he was joking and
Father
laughing
always
with
wanted
like
me to be art.
fascists,
That's why I went to college.
and now she seems really happy?
Did you learn about photography at college?
Oh, God, no. I couldn't afford the materials. We were
You couldn't afford the materials, you mean like a camera? These days I guess it would be, oh no, you must
Most of
have
them
a
were turned
Canon
into
5D,
I used to go poaching in the park for
or a
squirrels.
1D,
The only time I wasn't hungry was the term I did printing.
and you must have built your own studio.
You're making fun of me, aren't you?
Oh no.
Is she making fun of us? I guess we'll never know. Maybe she wants to see this dentistry / sewer grate lifting tool.
This is the tool I used to get into the sewers.
Fascinating, George.
Yeah.
You're not
My
into it,
thoughts
are you?
exactly.
Oh, of course I am. I think it was very brave of you to go down those sewers.
Yeah? Well, it was kind of scary.
It was
but-
kind of scary, but
well,
he has a job to
I
do,
had a job
guys.
to do.
George Stobart must always do his job. Well, this would be something she'd be more interested in.
Who was in the sewer?
The nose.
Hey, was this
So we'll give her the
funny?
nose. Oh, there's something in it.
Contents of someone's nose?
says
Don't be cross, George.
bogies.
It says La Risée du
Oh,
Monde.
La Risée du Monde.
Masks and costumes.
Masks and
It's a costume
costumes.
shop near the Gare
Near
Saint-Lazare.
Gare
I'll check it
Saint
out.
Lazare.
Maybe the owner remembers who hired the clown.
Oh, we can go and check it out. We'll go and check out the Gare Saint Lazare. We'll show you the handkerchief, which, as I say, I believe is coated in grease paint.
I found this tissue down the sewer.
It's disgusting.
George.
No. I think the stuff on it is
Yeah.
grease paint.
See? Grease
like
paint.
doctors use, or clowns.
It's still disgusting.
But it's still disgusting. Remember, it is a tissue that we found in a sewer.
I found a piece of material near the cafe.
And that's, you know, that's not very
When I showed
good.
The concierge, he recognized it right away.
It's very distinctive, all right.
Mm.
Just wait until you see
It's
this.
distinctive.
I developed the film.
Wait till I see this.
Here, George. It's an enlargement.
She
I
made an enlargement. Often people think of enlargements as
Check
other
it.
things.
The same
What about
materials
Luke?
I found in the sewer.
His trousers.
This guy shouldn't be difficult to find.
I know, he kind of looks like the mime as well, doesn't he?
A scar in the shape of a horseshoe.
Or a crescent.
What's interesting is you can kind of see that that's obviously part of the kind of improved part of the game.
Tell me more about the clown's previous.
Okay, so the clown's previous
The
victims.
first was Arnaud Bellotta, the millionaire pharmaceutical baron.
Arnaud
He made
Bellotta.
his money from amphetamines.
Arnaud from the
and post-war
messages.
Slimming and diet boom. Imagine
Made his money from
millions of
amphetamines.
housewives literally speeding their butts off. The only witness in the case was his Filipino au pair. She swears he was lured to his death.
He
by
was
a
lured to his
snowman.
death by a snowman.
The clown's second victim.
Yamada. The
He was walking in the
controversial
air.
Japanese politician. He inherited his fortune. from his
Yamada.
father's
So there we go. We know Yamada now.
fortune.
How did he die?
At the hands, or should I say flippers, of
A giant penguin.
emperor penguin.
A snowman, a penguin.
Were all these
and
people
now a
on
clown.
drugs when they saw it
I'm
happen?
about to add mine to the list, but stop myself. I really didn't want to have to explain to George about my father.
We'll not explain that there was a mime that
You know,
killed
I
people
hate
as
to
well.
admit it,
You know, I'm
this
surprised that
is
the game didn't
scary,
originally
and
go
I
with a
said
mime.
I will not be accepting any invitations
You know,
to
like the
Paris.
guy that went into the cafe.
I am too.
It's Paris after all.
It could be my only chance for a big break.
Or an early death.
Could be her best chance of a big break if only someone was willing to actually publish it.
How come you enlarged this photograph of me?
Because I noticed the guy behind you.
Because she wanted to make out the features on your tiny pinhead, George. So I guess that's about all we can talk to Nico about. There are no other options to discuss.
I have to go.
Okay, I'll see you later.
So we'll get walking. We'll get moving. Walking around Paris, man. Walking around Paris. You don't see like a little taxi there that he jumps into. He's actually walking all the way around Paris. That's a pretty big city to be just walking around. Especially, look, where were we? We were just there, and now we want to go what, like there? Yeah, we want to go to La Risée du Monde, which I believe was where the costume shop was. So yeah, I mean it's quite a long walk through Paris. There we've got a unicorn with a it's like a unicorn cow with a skeleton on top of it. It's the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper on a spotted cow horse unicorn. Well, I don't know, what would you like to call that? A cownicorn? Just a bit odd. We've got a red face in a basket, a little army hat, and various other little pieces. There's Pinocchio up there. He's wanting to shout about him being a real boy, but the shop owner doesn't like him talking. We've got a clown with sunglasses on, and I don't know why I'm discussing what the various items are. There's a kind of chimpanzee thing there. It almost looks like a real chimpanzee sitting on the ground, not a costume. But anyway, and I don't think that's an ostrich costume, unless you've got very thin legs. The only real thing we can do here is look at the gramophone. Crank it up. And that doesn't really do very much. Let me turn it off now. And all we can do is double down on how long it takes to stop. So we'll speak to the gentleman behind the counter.
Excuse me.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Excuse me?
Come in. Welcome. Leave the mundane world
I
behind.
leave the mundane world
For
behind.
these four
It's an
walls,
episode of Mr. Ben.
sea is king.
I don't want a costume.
Didn't you
Come
ever
through to this
dress up
room
when
and you
were
will
a child?
enter a fantasy realm.
Incredible.
When you come out, you'll look like somebody off the Home Pride cooking jars. Does anyone remember Home Pride? I don't think they have that anymore, and I don't think it's got a little man with a hat on, Mr. Ben. If you don't know who Mr. Ben was, I kind of explained a minute ago. It was a cartoon where somebody would go to like a costume shop. He'd dress up in a random costume. He was like a businessman type with his bowler hat and his briefcase. He'd go into the shop and he'd put on a costume, and then he'd enter a fantasy realm for that episode where he would do all the things you'd associate with the costume, whether it was a Native American Indian costume or a cowboy or, you know, whatever. He'd become that for the episode. Then at the end he would walk out the little door in the changing room in his suit, and it'd be like none of it ever happened. But we had a record of it, guys. We had a record.
Have you heard of a man named Plantile?
I do not recall.
Doesn't know
anyone
them.
of that name.
That's not really surprising. Does he know a
I'm
clown?
looking for a man who hired a clown costume from you.
Oui, monsieur. I do not see.
Doesn't see how he can help.
Don't you keep a record of costumes that you've rented out?
Of course, monsieur.
What?
But
Well, then I'd like to check your records. Give me
Why
the
would he
name
show
of
us his
anyone who's rented
his
a clown
records?
suit.
impossible.
There are too many people.
Too many.
Because a clown costume in Paris is maybe something that a lot of people rent, obviously.
Do you
Ask
want
about the
my
nose.
back?
Not
Do you want that
after it's
back?
been worn, thank you.
So he doesn't want it. Does
Does
he?
this dirty tissue mean anything to you?
Dirty tissue. Would you like my dirty tissue?
Let me smell.
Yeah. See, I forgot he's not a normal guy, is he? Let me sniff your tissue. Oh my goodness. That's just. Oh, that's horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous. He wants to sniff his tissue.
Have you sold any of it recently?
That's actually quite disgusting. Okay. What about this?
What does
Just
this
for fun.
mean to you?
Nothing, monsieur.
It means nothing to me. Oh, sewer opener thing. Yeah, Vienna doesn't sound so good. Especially not coming from my mouth. Okay, so we're showing the photograph of the guy that was leaving. See if he recognises him as someone who rented a costume.
Do you recognize this man?
Ah oui, he was here this morning. That is the man to whom I sold the grease paint.
Some grease paint and
Remember
monkey
the
brains.
scar on his face? He
Maybe not.
chose two costumes. Bozo the
Two
clown
costumes, Bozo the Clown and Seamus the Pixie. Seamus
Very smart.
would be more
Green silk
like a leprechaun name, I would have thought. Is a leprechaun a pixie?
Gave his name as Monsieur
Gave his name
Khan.
as Monsieur Khan. Khan. I don't think he's the one we're thinking about. Okay, so it looks like there's not much else we can kind of converse about with the gentleman, so we're going to leave.
Thanks for your help, buddy.
My pleasure, monsieur. Allow me to shake you. by the
Oh,
hand.
is this a good idea?
Well, okay.
Oh, George, you fell for that old trick.
What are you trying to do? Kill me?
You did
Is he
not
trying to
find it
kill him?
amusing?
I never saw the funny side of electric
He never
shock
saw the-
therapy.
Eh bien,
George.
It is yours to keep.
Yay, we get to keep it.
Do I need a
The
light?
crazed grin on his face.
I give you a word of warning.
Word of warning.
What?
Remember to switch it off.
Remember to
before
switch it
you
off
go
before
to
you
the toilet.
visit the toilet. That's good advice, my friend. So yeah, we have a hand
Shaking
buzzer.
Shock buzzer I'd been given by the man in the costume.
It's one of those
shop.
things with a little bit of metal that vibrates against your hand, I guess. Okay, well, let's go. There was nothing more to find in there. So, go back to the cafe. I don't have anything to give the police. I don't want to speak to them, especially not little Inspector Clouseau. So we're at the Café de la Chandelle Vert. Sorry, my accent's terrible. And we're going to... Well, we phoned Nico before using this little telephone. We had another number we could call, which was the guy that made the clown costume, the jacket at least. So let's give him a call. Mr. Todrick. if he ever answers.
Hello? Who is this? Hi. My name's George Stobart.
There we are.
You don't know me.
He almost looks
correct?
like a little rat-faced sort of man.
What can I do for you? Well,
With just one tuft of hair at the back.
trace one of your customers. Could I maybe
So I wonder if he
come
could,
over and talk to you?
if he could help me.
No.
Not possible,
Oh, okay.
he says.
Forget
Not
it.
possible.
Listen, all I want is a name. What are you talking about? Who are you working for?
What are you talking
I guess you
about?
might say
I guess you might say I'm acting in the
acting
interests of, yeah.
and
Truth, justice, and the
Thank God.
French way.
Thought you were the police. There are innocent lives at stake, Mr. Todrick. Lives that you
He doesn't like the
could
police,
save.
Todrick, obviously.
Collecting for charity, yes.
I'm
No,
collecting
I'm
for
not.
charity.
All I want from you is information.
I'm collecting information for charity,
I'm
yeah.
listening.
We want to ask about this guy, let's be honest. We may as well get straight into it. Let's ask about Mr.
The
Khan.
man I'm looking for is called Khan. He bought a suit from you, remember?
Mr. Khan.
Yes.
Ah,
I
he
remember.
does remember him.
Yes, I delivered the suit.
And he
to
delivered the
his
suit to the hotel.
Hotel Ubu.
The Hotel
I
Ubu.
don't remember the room.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
Upstairs. The second room.
Upstairs,
right
second room on the
side.
right-hand side of the
Thanks,
corridor.
Todrick. That's all I wanted to know. Now
That's
I've got
very specific information. He couldn't give me the room number. But he could tell me the general position of the room. Okay, so that gave us the Hotel Ubu. I guess we're going to visit the Hotel Ubu. Oh, now these guys look totally normal, don't they? They look totally like the kind of people we want to trust. But let's just go inside the hotel for now. Talk to the woman on the piano.
Hi there, ma'am.
Hi there, man.
Hello. What can I do
Well,
for you?
Play it again.
For a man.
You disappoint me.
I'm looking for a man.
For one
Yes.
foolish moment, I thought. But never mind.
Not on your wildest dreams, madame.
George Stobart, ma'am.
I noticed
I won't
at points in the game his name seems to be spelled slightly different. It was Stobart. I'm sure it was Stobart before, but
The common reaction is to kneel and
memory's a funny thing.
A real lady? I mean, you're an honest to God
An honest to God
Oh, I don't know
aristocrat.
about that. Few of my ancestors are honest, not even one. I can trace my family back.
At least
to
she's
the
honest, even if her
Beneath that
even if her
impressive
family's
pedigree
past
is
isn't.
flesh and blood. The blood may be blue, but the flesh is the plump beef of
Psst.
old England, so to speak. You appear distracted, George.
Is there any way
Anywhere I
that she can help
you.
us? I don't know. I feel like I'm going to ask her about this.
Did you know there's a gangster out front?
Gangsters out
What
front,
makes you
yeah.
think he's a gangster?
The Italian suit and the
What makes you
bulge
think he's
in
a
his pocket?
gangster? Italian suit and a bulge in his pocket.
Italian suits and
Oh,
bulges in
yeah.
their pockets. That doesn't necessarily
I'm sure
make
she
them
does. She's a little. There's a little disturbing, thinking that this old lady is talking about gangsters or men with bulges in their Italian suits.
I'm looking for
Let's ask
a
her about
murderer.
Mr. Khan. I'm looking for a murderer.
You're a private detective.
Am I a private detective?
That's correct,
Well, I
ma'am.
suppose
What's
I'm
the
privately
title of
detecting
that?
things.
It's on the tip of my
the-
tongue.
I
It's
believe what you're
it's a
thinking
dick,
of is
yeah.
Dick.
He is a
Precisely.
dick. Many people have thought it.
Have you come across a man who calls himself Khan?
I am familiar with only one person named Khan.
What, Genghis Khan?
Genghis Khan, the legendary Mongol barbarian chief?
He asked the same question.
Darling,
Yeah.
Kevin.
Kevin Khan.
I never heard of him.
I'd be most surprised if you had.
Kevin
darling.
Khan.
He's a farmer
Who can?
from Hemel Hempstead.
Kevin Khan.
Organises fundraising for the Rotarians. Lovely man.
Hiya, who should we send down to the sewers to clean
I
up?
really wouldn't know.
Kevin Khan.
Are you
Sorry,
preparing-
I found that funnier than
No,
it was.
darling, I'm on holiday. I needed to get away after Algy's
Need to get away after
I didn't
Algy's
realize you were
funeral.
mourning the loss of a loved one.
That's nothing
I'm
like her
not,
voice.
it's my husband.
I'm not. He was my husband.
I'm sorry to hear about your husband's death.
You
Did
wouldn't
she
be
say he
if
was
you knew
dead?
him,
I
dear. It
guess.
gave me the opportunity to take a
I guess he is,
well-deserved
because,
holiday.
you know, take a
That
well-deserved
meant a
holiday.
change of scenery. Paris, she said.
A change of scenery to Paris. That's a pretty good suggestion, really, isn't it? Be a pretty good sort of change of scenery to have if you were gonna change scenery at all.
I must say I was disappointed with
She didn't like his coco van.
Not at all what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I was thinking of
I'd forgotten how much innuendo there was in this game. It is actually really good.
Until last night.
Just you know, like gentle innuendo, not anything that's too disconcerting at all. So we've spoken to her. I think we've probably exhausted the opportunity. Well, no, let's ask her if she's seen the man in the picture.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
My God, it's him. That's Merlin.
Merlin?
She represented everything I loved
Morlin?
about the English.
I don't
The lady
know.
was totally deranged.
Totally deranged.
Merlin? You mean King Arthur's wizard?
Good heavens, no. Monsieur Merlin is a
Merlin's a fellow guest. So he comes by a different name. Here,
The man you know as Merlin is
obviously, I mean, he has all sorts of different names.
He's a murderer.
He's a murderer.
He also uses the name Khan.
I am shocked, Mr. Stewart.
She's shocked.
Shaken.
Shaken.
I took him to be a gentleman. A man
She took him
of
to be a
honour.
gentleman. Well, as long as you're not somebody he's looking to murder,
I'd rather like to
I'm sure you'll be
assist you
perfectly
in
fine.
catching him up.
Okay, so we'll have a
When did you
bit
last
more of a
see
discussion
Merlin?
about Merlin. Merlin.
He
Merlin.
came downstairs and spoke to that clerk chappie.
He spoke to the
Something
clerk
about
at the
hands.
counter.
I couldn't see what exactly.
Something
A briefcase?
past hands.
No, smaller than that. A bundle of papers, perhaps.
It was drugs. Let's be honest, it was drugs. Okay, so he's keeping stuff in a safe.
Are you sure you saw Merlin putting documents in the safe?
Yes, darling.
And she's positive that that's what she
I
saw.
wonder what they were.
Obviously something of great
Something of
importance.
great importance.
Yeah. I'd sure like to get my hands on whatever it is.
And I'd like to get my
I
hands
bet
on
they
it.
had
Yeah,
something
well,
to do with Plantar's briefcase.
don't just go blurting that out to people. Does she have more to
Has
say?
Merlin returned to the hotel?
No, he hasn't.
He hasn't
Are you going to
returned.
search his
Am I going to search
If I
his
could get in
room?
there, I would.
Well, if I could get in his room, I would. Who's this? A man with a
Excuse me.
newspaper.
Didn't I see your
And I see his
in the
picture in the news.
You're that Nobel Prize winner from some unpronounceable
Nobel Prize
Eastern
winner from an
European
unpronounceable Eastern European state.
That is me.
And that's him.
Also.
He
I
doesn't
don't
even
wanna
correct
worry,
you and
but
say what his country is or anything.
Threats on your life? You know, mysterious phone calls, letters made up of headlines.
Have I
coming
had?
in the
Has he
newspaper.
had
I don't know what
letters cut out of magazines? He doesn't know what I'm talking about.
Do you
But does he know
recognize
this man?
He calls himself Khan.
Yes.
Yes.
I know this man.
Yes, he does.
Why do you carry
Why do I carry his photograph?
I'm a private detective.
I'm a private detective.
What's your interest in Khan?
He is an enemy of my people.
Ah,
He's a killer.
he's
Of
an
course,
enemy of their people,
amongst other things.
amongst other things. Well, what other things
Would you help me investigate?
would you be talking
Khan?
about?
That is not possible. My
His instructions are to
instructions
observe.
I cannot jeopardize my position.
He can't jeopardise his position as an honoured guest of the country's government, but he's perfectly happy to discuss his position with some random American tourist that he doesn't know. Okay, what about Plantar? Do you know him?
I don't know anybody.
Doesn't know anybody in Paris.
Oh, well, this guy's dead.
But he's dead anyway.
Why do you ask me about dead men?
Why'd you ask me about
I
dead
have
men?
seen enough of death to
He's
last
seen
me
enough
a
death to
lifetime.
last him a lifetime.
I'm sure you have.
Excuse me. Do we need to ask him about the clown? I don't think he's going to be that interested. Let's see if we can give him a little shock.
May I shake you by the hand?
I do not shake the hand.
He doesn't
of
shake the
imperialist
hands
dogs.
of imperialist dogs.
That's a real bad attitude problem you've got
An
there.
attitude problem. Yes, it's definitely an attitude problem. Right, okay, we don't really have anything we need to discuss with him, I don't think. Let's go back
Thanks for your help.
and let's go.
Why?
Is there a reception desk that we want to visit? No, not the stairs. We don't want to go up the stairs. We can't go up the stairs yet. We've got this guy here. What we're going to do before we do that is we're just going to do something to see if we can. Because why not? Let's do this to everybody. It would be great.
I want some information.
Who are you? The police?
Will he let me shake his hand?
Ah, I know only too well.
He knows only too well
That is one of
what
the
I mean.
drawbacks of the catering
And it's a
business.
drawback of the catering
People
business.
To an hotel, they leave their morals at home. No,
They leave their morals at home.
I'd Rather not, monsieur. I'm still sore from the shock administered.
Oh, he's still sore from the shock administered by one of his guests, concealing an electrical device in his hand. Damn. And here I thought I was being original.
So puerile, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Puerile. Oh, yeah, puerile. It's a puerile joke. Let's ask him about the picture.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Yes, monsieur. That man is
There we
one
are.
of our guests.
C'est bon.
What name?
I cannot.
He can't tell me his name. Like somehow knowing his name
Alias Khan, the clown.
is gonna give us some kind of crazy power. I can't tell you. You have his name. I can't tell you what his name is. I cannot tell you his name.
Do you have a guest by the name of Khan?
Do you have a guest by the name of Khan?
Perhaps
No.
you would care to check the
Perhaps I would care to
register.
check the register. So he can't tell me his name, but he will let me check the
The man who
register.
calls himself Khan has a scar on his right cheek.
Vraiment? I tell you, I do not know a man named Khan.
Maybe not.
Does not know a man
Change in his
named
expression
Khan.
when I mentioned the scar. Do you recognize this red nose?
No?
I think we need to find a way to get into Khan's room.
I'd like to retrieve something from your safe.
Ah, oui, monsieur.
May I see some form of identification?
Like what?
Like what? Well, like a driving license or
I don't drive.
something with your photograph on it and a name.
I could show you my operation.
I can show you my operation scar. I mean, you know.
Form of unique ID.
You won't find a more unique ID than my scar.
I'm sorry. I must insist on a more traditional.
More traditional identification.
Rats.
I don't think rats count as identification either. Is there anything else I can do? Ask him
I'm
about
looking for a
clowns.
man who dresses like a clown.
This is a highly respectable hotel, monsieur. There
You see,
are
there's a
no
key there. I think we need to get
clowns
that key,
You say so.
but I'm really not 100% sure. Let's go out of this conversation for a moment.
here. Excuse me.
Excuse me, monsieur.
You were trying.
You were trying to steal that key. No, I was not. Don't be so silly. Let's give him the photograph. I don't know. Let's
What
give him
now, monsieur?
items.
Did I show you this photograph?
Yes, you did, monsieur.
Would it make a difference if I told you the guy in the photo was a murderer?
We are accustomed to catering for movie stars.
Is this Merlin Room 22?
This Merlin Room 22.
I couldn't say.
I couldn't say it's a bad likeness.
This photo
Well, it's either
was
him or
taken
it's
by one
not.
of Europe's-
Vraiment? What does he
What does he
use?
use? A pinhole camera. We want this key. He's not going to let us have the key.
About the key hanging up.
Oui, monsieur.
Which room is it for?
Which
Number
room is that
21.
for? Number
Is that room
21.
taken?
Is it
No.
taken?
The guest
No, they checked out this morning.
This morning.
Can I check in? Could I check in to room 21?
Do you know a man named Clentav?
No, monsieur.
So he's not going to give us the key.
I believe Khan, the man with the scar, is also known as Merlin.
What of it? What do you
No,
want?
he's not. He's just not going to entertain it, giving
You
us
have a
any
license,
details, is he?
monsieur?
Do I have a
A
license?
private
No, and I had
investigator
an ID
license?
card.
Well, not
I wasn't
exactly,
allowed to-
but I can explain everything.
I am sorry.
Without
but
credentials, he
with
can't
your
help.
I cannot help.
He refuses to assist us. And I don't really think there's much more we can talk to him about. Is there anyone that holds any power here? Well, she's aristocracy. Does she have
Hi,
maybe
Mary.
some kind of sway over him?
Hello, George.
What can she do for me? Can she?
What happened to you last night?
I was
What happened to you last night?
Cupid's arrow has cleft.
Cupid's arrow
my
has
bosom.
cleft her bosom.
Really miss.
It was just as I'd always imagined it should be. The intimacy of candlelight. Romantic music tinkling.
It's funny
across
thinking,
the
you know,
room.
about this old lady
And then, a strange
and all of these
thought.
kind of things that she's doing in
Those
Paris.
brooding eyes, that
Tight
suave manner,
trousers.
those tight trousers.
We
He
want
was the man I'd
tight
been
trousers.
waiting for all my life.
I'm glad he finally turned up after all these years.
He finally turned up for all
But
these
it wasn't
years.
to be.
Merely
She was
toying
merely
with her
toying
affections.
with my affections. And if I ever catch up with him, he's dead.
He'll die? That's a bit extreme, don't you think?
Who was the guy who led you on?
His
Who was
name
it?
is
Merlin! Oh look, it's Khan. What a surprise.
Did I show you this photograph?
Yes, darling.
Yeah, I did.
Do you know what this is?
How about I show you this
Oh,
nose?
yes, I'd say it was a clown's nose.
That's right. It was
Worn by a vicious killer.
Ah,
Merlin,
Mr.
perhaps.
perchance.
Yes!
That's him.
Would she like to sniff my handkerchief like the last person did?
Violet, but that object
No.
makes me
No,
feel
she
quite
wouldn't. She thinks
queasy.
it's disgusting. And that's, you know, what happens with random... I don't think we want to, like,
Can you think of any use for
buzz
this
her. I
photograph?
think that would be quite bad.
Oh, I can think of someone.
I can think of someone I'd like to use it on. Well, okay. No hand buzzers, because I think that's just going to be pretty silly, isn't it?
Hello again. Have you seen a clown?
I beg your pardon.
Does he like clowns?
clown.
Do you like
The guy
clowns?
in
No.
funny pants. Have you seen
The
it?
clown
My
in funny
pants are
pants.
from
Listen, my pants are from England. Marks and Spencer's.
They are a pleasure and a comfort.
I'm not entirely sure that he means his trousers, by the way. He probably means
real
his
glad to hear that.
underpants.
You know, it's good to know you Nobel Prize
Nobel
winners are
Prize
human
winners are
too.
human too. Well, yeah, I don't think they've given prizes to robots yet. It's possible they might have given prizes, you know, prizes to some reptilians. That's always likely. And I'm joking, obviously, about reptilians.
Does this goo smeared tissue?
Does this
mean
goo
anything?
smeared tissue mean anything to you?
Doesn't.
Why would you want a tissue smeared in goo?
What does this clown's nose suggest?
What does the clown's nose
In
suggest?
my country,
No
we
use
have
for
no
clowns.
use
They
for
shoot them.
I'm
You
glad to
shoot
hear it.
clowns,
They
don't
were
you?
dealt with most severely in the last
Yes,
Gulf
there we go.
War.
That's the clown cleansing.
Did you get them too?
All gone. Our
Oh, that sounds like a dream.
Sounds like heaven.
Yeah. My thoughts exactly, George. My thoughts exactly. Do you know what this
Have
tool's
you
for?
any idea what this tool might be used for?
I cannot guess.
He cannot
Would it mean
guess. He
anything
could
if I
guess.
told you it was for lifting
What it means
weights
is he doesn't
covers?
want to guess.
Such technology.
Such technology fills me with wonder. Obviously, he's
This
being
is a
sarcastic,
photo of Khan, right?
I would assume.
Just one of the names.
He's just humouring George, who's being a bit simple-minded. Okay, so there's nothing really we can talk to him
Thanks for your
about.
help.
We've spoken to her about everything. There were some subjects I didn't speak to the guy about, mainly because I didn't think he'd be that interested. I feel like I should at least...
What now, Miss?
What now, monsieur? Let's talk to him
I
about
insist
Merlin
you
again.
give me the key to
I
Merlin.
insist you give me the key.
cannot
Can't do
it,
that.
monsieur.
This guy Merlin.
He's a
is
menace.
So you say,
Is he,
monsieur.
is he really?
He's not only a danger to
Dangerous society guests as well.
your guests as well.
I don't care.
Affections of Lady Pure.
Toyed with the affections of Lady Piermont.
Are there no depths to which he
No
will not
depths to
sink?
which he will not
Precisely.
sink. Precisely my
He's
thoughts.
already killed once, twice, maybe as many as
Once,
3
twice.
times.
Maybe as many as
Your
3
help,
times a
I
lady.
might be able to stop him.
Maybe
But
not.
what if he finds out
They were all men, as far as I'm aware so far.
I cannot do
Still, he refuses. He will still refuse. What do you think
What
of my
do you
tissue?
make of this tissue?
Do you wish me to dispose of it for you, monsieur?
Hey, no. It could be useful. I'm
What does he
holding
think of my
on to it.
tissue?
As you wish, monsieur.
You're a disgusting man,
Would you
Mr.
like
Concierge.
a
Mr.
baggie to keep it
Would you
in?
like a plastic
Nah, it's
baggie
fine
to
the way
keep
it
it in?
is.
No, it's fine. Actually, that wouldn't be a bad idea if you did have one. But let's ask him about what he thinks of our tool.
What do you
Yes,
make
an
of this
American.
tool?
Walking around Paris asking people what they think of his tool.
I bet you handle it like a professional.
Oh my. He bets that he handles it like a professional. We've already tried that with him. He wasn't interested. Well, we seem to have pretty much exhausted all the conversation options with everybody in here. I feel like
Ma'am?
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
she could help me.
Did I show you this photograph?
Yes.
Yes.
I just couldn't bring...
Why not? It'll be funny. Let me try. Let me try taking the key off the wall again. Will he let me do that?
Ne touche pas.
Ne touchez pas. I feel like the key's important. Well, obviously it is, because it's an item that you can pick up in the area. I seem to remember, in the depths of my mind, that she helps you to get the key.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
But the option's not there. I feel like I've bypassed some of the options.
Hello again.
And he's already... Well, let's do that again, because it's obviously not exhausted.
Right?
That is just
In fact, we might do that with her as well, because the option wasn't exhausted with her either. But it was with everybody else.
Thanks for your help.
It's now exhausted with him, in a way that it wasn't before. So we'll see if that is now an exhaustible option with her.
What can I do for
Although I'm
you
sure we
now?
just asked exactly the same question last
Did
time.
I show you this photograph?
Yes, darling.
Yes, I did. And I think, in fact, if you go out and go back to ask to the thing,
Hello, George.
you'll be able
What
to
can
ask
I
her
do
about the
for you
photograph all
now?
over again. You see? So, I'm at a bit of an impasse here for the moment, and I think perhaps the best option might be... well, first of all, let's save the game, because we want to do that. We'll just save it on our existing save, and just make sure that actually did save. It did. We're now 25% completed. So we'll make that the end of our stream for the evening. I'll have a thought about how things work in the game, because I can't think what the exact route to getting her to do the thing is, and I feel like I've exhausted a lot of the options there. So for now, that's it for the evening. We'll probably do a little bit more of Broken Sword tomorrow. I might be back later this evening to stream some other items. I've managed to, I think, get my kind of sound situation sorted out on the Xbox side of things. Finally been able to put on a decent microphone on that, rather than the pretty poor sort of headset microphone we were using. So I'm hoping that's going to really boost the quality of what we're doing on the Xbox side of things. As always, thanks for joining me on Mixer at Supernautus. Once this video is finished, once we're kind of completed and done, I'll be uploading the video to YouTube. On YouTube, my channel's called Supernautus Streams. Really, that's showing all of my streams. Obviously, you'll be able to watch them for a short time on Mixer and look at my past streams and see what I've been doing recently. They will always be up on YouTube, available for you to watch. I think we're managing to get ahead a little bit and become like a bit better now in the audio kind of side of things. Seems to be kind of sounding a lot better, feeling a lot better at least. Still few little tweaks, I think, with kind of audio levels and things. But I hope that kind of gradually things will get better and better. I hope that people will start to enjoy things more. I hope that I might pick up some followers on Mixer. You never know, maybe that might happen one day. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We'll just carry on streaming until it does. Or not, as the case may be. Anyway, thank you very much for catching the stream tonight, guys, or if you're watching it later. Remember, you can catch me on YouTube. Links below will be for my Facebook and Twitter pages for the channel. And so I look forward to streaming again with you guys. I hope that you'll pick up and enjoy things and come back to me soon. But that's everything for tonight. Thank you.